where to start? One of the first things I had to face in quitting, and I knew I would have to face this, but in life we in some way or another we attach our self-worth and our identity to these external scorecards. External scorecards are nice because they're tangible. You can see them. Oftentimes other people can see them too. So for me, some of my scorecards have been my income potential, my job title, the type of work that I do, my productivity, like how I compete with my peers. I was in sales, so it's competitive and it's all very out there, right? Like there's tangible winners, losers, etc. And so that was part of my scorecard. I like to win. And in quitting, I voluntarily got rid of a lot of the scorecards that I was anchoring to. And it's just kind of funny in our culture, we do all kind of anchor to our job so much, and so to not like have a job and to leave a job without another job, there's this ambiguity to it that I had to get comfortable with, where it's like, not only can I not anchor to some title or some income, no title, no income, no job, but also I had to get comfortable with just telling people that I'm doing some self-exploration and I don't have another job lined up. I just don't. And voluntarily getting rid of these scorecards has led to insightful questions, because yes, I chose to give them up, but also those are all scorecards that can be taken away from me. And so I'm wondering, like, what is the value of anchoring to an external scorecard that can be taken away? Like, that's just not a sustainable path towards healthy self-esteem and healthy self-worth and just healthy behaviors in general, right? Because, if you're anchored to your job, your company could fire you. If you're anchored to your income could go to zero. If you're anchored to your net worth, well, that could plummet. You just never know what's going to happen. And so I'm kind of just like basking in this ambiguity of like, why did I choose those scorecards in the first place? And what's the value in that? And secondly, what would be an internal scorecard? Like something that's authentic and internal that nobody can take away, that I can anchor to. And so I've been reflecting on that, because first it was work, and then actually I noticed when I quit work, I started anchoring to YouTube and views and comments and subscribers, but that didn't feel good either, right? Like YouTube being attached to any type of metric is a recipe for disaster, as all creators know. So right now I'm reflecting on what's the internal scorecard that no one can take away from me. And I think that for me right now is about trusting myself. Like, if I had to score myself on how much I'm trusting myself right now in this moment and in the next moment, how would I score on that metric? Because that's something that no matter what happens in my life, I can always tap into my authenticity and get a gauge for how much I'm neglecting myself or abandoning myself versus aligning with it and trusting in what's happening and what's intuitive and unfolding within me. So that's the first thing is, God, all these status symbols and just the culture of work in the West and in the States. It's all very fragile, and it doesn't mean as much as I thought it would. The second piece is around burnout, because I left my job in large part because I burnt myself out. Not only because I I pushed myself to be productive and hit my goals. And I was in a very stressful, intense role. I was in sales. So there was that burnout, the physical burnout of just pushing myself very far. But there was also I would call it emotional and spiritual burnout of being in a culture, a company culture that just didn't resonate with me. It just didn't feel good. And I think you can survive in a culture that's incongruent to you for a while, but at a certain point, your soul is just going to essentially give you indication that you can't do it anymore. So I left that burnout, I put that burnout aside, and I switched to this focus on YouTube. And for the first few weeks, I noticed myself feeling the same type of pressure that burnt me out, but it was just now allocated towards making videos and writing and trying to learn new skills around content creation. And it was like week number 3, and I put out a couple videos, and I recognized that it didn't feel good. Like I wasn't enjoying myself really, and I wasn't having fun. And so that same pattern, that same mindset that burnt me out in my corporate job was just slapped on top of content creation. And I recognized like a huge intention for this break from career is to find something sustainable for me. And all of a sudden, this idea of being a YouTuber just didn't feel sustainable to me. And so I took a step back and I was like, let's evaluate what's going on here. Because what's the point of, burning myself out on this? And what's the point of doing this if it's no fun, right? And so I allowed myself to just kind of flow with whatever I was interested in. And I have lots of different interests in spirituality and investing in the market. So I spent some time looking at the markets. It's been very fun, but I also feel kind of distracted and all over the place. And I wanted to get a bit more clear on what's in my way, or what is with this inclination to feel this need to be productive. Like if I couldn't be productive, if I couldn't make anything, if I couldn't succeed in my career, what would I have to feel? And I started to get in touch with the fact that I don't think I'm feeling my feelings. Why is making YouTube videos so difficult? I was chatting with ChatGPT the other day, as one does, and I asked it to be brutally honest with me about my blind spots in areas where I'm either telling myself a story or I'm afraid to speak the truth about it. And ChatGPT said in one moment, there was a lot of really brutally honest insights there, but one was, you spend more time fighting yourself than you do creating or connecting with people. And when I read that, it stuck with me and it hurt, because I think that's true. I spend a lot of my time at odds with myself, feeling like I should be productive and then trying to be gracious about not being productive. And I'm always in my mind. And even as a person who's had a lot of experience with meditation and can recognize thoughts and come back to the moment, even with that practice, I recognized I'm not in my body enough. And there's lots of reasons for that. I won't go into all of it in this video because it's deep and it goes back to when I was younger, but feelings are in the body. And if I'm not in my body, I can't experience and process my feelings. So right now, oddly enough, I quit my job in part to be focused on YouTube, but now I'm focused on feeling my feelings. I didn't expect that, but I do think that in order for me to actualize my potential with videos or with anything in my life, I have to break through any of these blockages that I feel. Because if you think about procrastination, if you think about the thing you want to do but you struggle to do it, the struggle to do it, the procrastination itself relates to a feeling that you don't want to feel. Any type of avoidance isn't an avoidance of the outcome. So like you could say, I avoid making videos because I'm afraid to fail at making good videos. I'm afraid to fail at YouTube. I'm afraid to get a negative comment. But that's not precise. Like, what I would actually be scared of, what I am fearful of, is the feeling that I'd have to feel if I failed, or the feeling that I would have to experience if I got a negative comment, right? And I guess I'm getting in touch with how much emotions are impacting the actions I'm taking, and also my inability to get in touch with those emotions in my body. Do you feel your feelings? So my intention, even with this video, is to be in my body and find ways to enjoy myself more. And that doesn't necessarily mean I want to just do enjoyable things. It means I want to find more ways to enjoy what I'm doing. So lately, making videos has not been enjoyable. So I'm asking myself questions like, how could I make a video and it be enjoyable? And one way for me to do that is to do what I'm doing now, which is just to sit in front of the camera and connect. Because sometimes the pressure to write the perfect video and make it good and make it quality has not been enjoyable for me yet, because my skills are not quite where I want it to be. So I guess if I had to pose anything to you to reflect on, if you're still watching this, it's, what's your external scorecard that you're anchored to? How would you feel if that was taken away? What's the value of anchoring to a scorecard that could be taken away? And secondly, I guess the reflection is around productivity versus enjoyment. What if instead of looking through the lens of productivity, you look through the lens of enjoyment? Like whatever you're doing now, you're watching this video right now. Like what could you do right now to make watching this video 5% more enjoyable? These are the types of questions that I'm pondering at the moment. Because I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to take a break from the corporate world. And there's just no way I'm going to let myself look back at this time and realize that I was miserable the whole time, just beating myself up about it, you know? But the sun's in my eyes, so I'm going to go. But hopefully this was at least interesting. I don't know. Actually, I don't hope that. It's not why I did this. I did this to find a way to enjoy making a video and to ideally connect with you all. And I don't know what this channel is going to look like I might just keep doing these videos where I'm sitting and talking, because I like the flow state that I get in when I just speak to the camera like this. It does feel enjoyable, I have to say. That's an insight for me to take from this, is that what I'm doing right now is enjoyable. It's scary at first because people, watch me and I get in my head, but once I get into my body, as we just talked about, I do find these videos that are more stream of consciousness, I do find them enjoyable. So I don't know that these types of videos will lead to a successful YouTube channel, but again, that's not my goal. My goal is to enjoy myself. So I hope you're enjoying yourself. Thanks again to all of you who have subscribed in recent months. I think I got a recap from YouTube that I got 1,100 new subscribers this year, so that's basically double what I had done in like 9 years, so it's pretty cool. Not to be attached to the scorecard, more so just to be grateful for like the people on the other end of the screen. It's really cool. So alright, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here, but it's been nice connecting with you. Thanks for the love. I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you're up for it. Just say hi, and I'll say hi back. So, till next time.